For thousands of years, humans have existed next to a world of unimaginable horror. Though rarely encountered, the line between these worlds is not impermeable. If a human moves too close to the edge, there is a chance they will pass to the other side.
Picture this. You find yourself in a desolate lakeside town in an unending darkness oppressing every corner of the world. The shadows have swallowed the stars above. You wander the empty roads, explore abandoned buildings. The only remnants of life seem long gone, sacrificed to some horrible void, leaving a trail of carnage in its wake. But you soldier on in the face of this threat. For girlfriend wife. Concluse upholds the long-honored tradition of cruising blindly through some unfamiliar town, going to the end of the earth to find your wife, girlfriend, daughter, but never son. The horror game police will find you if you try anything else. That said, Concluse is both free and a pretty decent experience, for what it is. Just know that it's meant as a prologue for something bigger down the road. You'll be strung along a series of odd, twisting black and white corridors, finding quarters to put in payphones, to call your mother or your wife, unlocking blurred locks using censored keys, and generally being confused about just what's going on. What's all this then? And by the end, you never quite learn what is all this then. There aren't really jump scares or much in the way of conflict or danger. You aren't pulling off sick combos and punching monsters. You're walking, reading, and occasionally puzzling. But Concluse has got style, and that's what compelled me. Style and creativity. They go for a lo-fi, low-poly, monochromatic PS1, fuzzy, grungy sort of look, and I think it really works to its favor. These polygonal facsimiles and representations of real-world things that make your mind fill in the gaps. In the graphics options, Concluse allows you to raise the resolution and increase the frame rate, but urges that this is the way it's intended to play. I agree. I think you really kind of lose out on some of the experience of everything's like well-defined and just too clear, you know. Anyway, so Concluse, is it scary though? It has a couple moments. Your mileage may vary. The game maintains an atmosphere of unease throughout, and in particular is a good moment where they build up to something wandering around in the sewers with you. It's like, oh god, it's right around the corner, isn't it? That said, Concluse might go too subtle and maybe doesn't have enough in the way of unsettling scares. It's still much more interesting than, Ooga booga, I'm a snarling monster who will hit at you. It's a shame as a whole there aren't a ton of standout moments or visuals, but they're selling a vibe and atmosphere more than anything else. The loose bits of narrative of the world were interesting. Our main character's wife plight was not so much for me, but they're spread out pretty far, and the majority is wandering long, narrow paths at a snail's pace. Luckily, none of the areas are big enough to lose yourself in for too long. There were times I felt that they were going to build up something, and it felt like this is the prime opportunity to now throw something spooky at the player. And I just sort of picked up a key, walked out. Everything's fine. Go away. But Concluse is all built up and not a ton of payoff. It's all right. If anything, I'm eager to see what's in store for what they do next. At the end of Concluse is a preview for a continuation of the game, and some of that looks far more interesting than what you see in Concluse itself. That said, Concluse still gets a thumbs up from me. Give it a shot. It's free. And you can't beat free.
Next time